everyone. I just wanted to give you a quick update. I have been super busy working on the Global Stress Summit, and I have to tell you, I am just over the moon. I keep saying that, but that's the only term I can come up with to really explain to you how excited I am about this agenda. So let me just tell you some of the people that I've been talking to over the last few days. And by the way, I'm totally not bragging, and many of you don't even know who these people are anyway. But if you happen to be interested in the neuroscience of stress, you're going to know why I'm so freaking excited. Over the last couple of weeks, I have had conversations with Robert Sapolsky, author of Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers, which happens to be my version of the Stress Bible. Dr. Herbert Benson, oh my gosh, who was the founder who found the relaxation response. He's a pioneering expert in mind-body medicine. He started and directs the Benson Henry Institute at Mass General Hospital. He's at Harvard Medical School. He was actually one of the founding members with Hans Selye of the American Institute of Stress, for whom I am now the executive director, and part of the reason why I'm putting this whole summit together. I had the most brilliant conversation with him on Thursday or Friday. I don't even remember because they're all kind of bleeding together right now, but what an amazing guy. Just today, a new friend, Ian Robertson, who wrote a book called The Stress Test, which has just come out, and a bunch of people were sending me articles talking about him in Forbes magazine and all sorts of other places. So I reached out. He is at Trinity College in Dublin, as well as he's co-director of the Global Brain Health Institute. Oh my gosh. Just had an hour-long discussion with him around how stress actually helps us with performance, and just his whole journey through both being a clinical psychologist working with patients and being in the laboratory looking at the neuroscience of stress. I mean, it was amazing. My good friend, Dr. Evan Gordon, we had a conversation, of course, about the neuroscience of stress and what we've been looking at through his database there with My Brain Solutions. Srini Pillay, of course, one of my favorite people on the planet. We talked about how to unlock our brain from anxiety. So important. Srini and I can talk about a million different things, but that was the topic that we picked for the summit to try to narrow in on these kind of fine-tuning things. I did an interview with Judy Carter, who is a very well-known comedian. She wrote literally the Bible on comedy, called The Comedy Bible. But she also has a brilliant book called The Message of You, which is actually talks about the fact that our message, our core message of who we are, is made up of our messes. How do you turn mess into your message? And it was very practical. Susan Pierce Thompson, a new friend of mine who actually I get to see tomorrow. I'm very excited about that. We talked about how to de-stress your diet. Susan is the founder of a program called Bright Line Eating and has a book coming out in March, which is going to be, no doubt, a huge bestseller. I talked with my good friend Loriana Hernandez Aldama a couple days ago, actually in my orange for Under Armour. I always say Under Armour, for Armor Up, her amazing nonprofit, which is all about how do we get fit to fight the battles in our lives, especially things like cancer. So she talks about how her own self-care and taking care of her health prepared her to go through her battle with cancer, which I believe was only about a year and a half ago, and she's doing great. Carol Spears, the chair of the International Stress Management Association. We talked about stress at the C-suite, specifically what leaders can do in organizations. I also talked to my good pal Danny Friedland about that. Danny has a company called Super Smart Health. He's here in San Diego and just a rock star, awesome, love-filled man. He was the former chair for the Academy of Integrative Health and Medicine. God, I could go on and on. John Assaraf, we talked about how to take control of your time. This is one for me. I can do really well with a lot of these other things, but time management, not so much. So John and I talked about how do you practically take control of your time? How do you prioritize? How do you get more things done in less time? Who else have I talked to? Dr. Robert Brooks, who's become a good friend. He is what a sweet man. Talks about raising resilient children. So I know that's going to be one that many of you are going to want to watch. Dr. Andrew Newberg, we talked about your brain on God. That was really interesting, looking at brain scans and studies that he has done with his partner, Mark Waldman, who's also going to be on talking about neurowisdom. We're going to be talking next week, I believe. for that session. So Andy was talking about the different areas in the brain that light up when we're having spiritual experiences and how we can actually tap into those more intentionally using both spiritual and non-spiritual types of practices. Bart Billings, oh my gosh, what a rock star. Bart Billings started and oversees the largest Combat Stress Summit, which is also here in San Diego. I'm very excited to hear that's going to be happening in May. I'm definitely planning on attending. Bart Billings has written a book that is called Invisible Scars, and it's really powerful about combat stress and trauma, and just trauma in general, what happens to the brain and how we can treat it with integrative approaches. Really powerful. That was an interview that we did last week. Excited to know he also lives in this area. There's all these people hanging out in San Diego that I didn't even know, that I'm excited to get to know better. So Bart Billings, that's going to be definitely one to keep an eye on. Of course, one of my best friends, Karen Buxman, we had a conversation as well about what's so funny about stress and looking at how laughter and humor help us to become more resilient and manage stress more effectively, and so many others. So those are the people I've already talked to. I have more still to come. My good friend Michelle Geelan, we're going to be talking about broadcasting happiness in the midst of chaos. I'm going to be talking with Kurt Othmer about neurofeedback. We've got Bessel van der Kolk coming up about PTS and trauma. He works at the Boston Trauma Center. He has written a beautiful book I'm still pouring through called The Body Keeps the Score. And so many others. JJ Virgin. I forgot JJ Virgin. Of course, she was one of the first I interviewed, and she's going through her whole launch right now with the Miracle Mindset, which is incredible. We talked to JJ about her recent experience with her son, who was hit in a hit-and-run accident and had radical traumatic brain injury that he was not expected to make it through the night, let alone to be back and healthy and resilient and brilliant. And her story is very touching and very emotional, but very empowering at the same time. I'm going to be sharing a lot more about JJ's program, The Miracle Mindset, over the next couple of weeks as she gets ready to launch her book launch. So many more, 35 people I'm interviewing over the next few weeks, and we're going to be broadcasting all of those for free the last week of April 24th through May 1st. So very soon, we're going to be putting up the registration page. For now, I'm giving you a way to register ahead of time if you'd like. And in fact, you know what? I think I should do some sort of super special giveaway item for that. I haven't thought through that yet, but we will. We'll give some bonus items, some free books, and some different add-ons to people who register early. So this is like the super early bird. This is like friends and family only, so don't push this out to everybody yet. I will be giving you many ways to actually support the summit, but I'm going to put a link at the bottom here that sends you to my online academy, and there's a course that I've set up for the Global Stress Summit. So if you register for the course, all it's going to do is give me your email address and say that you're interested in the summit, so that when the summit happens, when our official registration page comes out in about a month or so, you'll be first to know. So I'll just send you a personal note saying, hey, the site's ready, register now. And by the way, please tell everybody you know about it. We also have a Thunderclap campaign where you can support us on social media just by a click of a button. Super easy to do as well. So I'll post that link here, and you can actually do that now. All you have to do is click on the link. It gives you the opportunity to commit to promote on, I believe it's March 19th. So that as many people as we can get possible to, on social media, blast out the registration for the Global Stress Summit. We'll hopefully get more attention that way from people in our community and beyond. So we really want to make this a global effort to share really hopeful, healing information about how we can radically transform our relationship with stress. I'm learning so much, and I'll tell you just before I wrap up here that selfishly, I put this all together because I wanted to learn more, and I couldn't find a good resource for a PhD in stress management. Honestly, I've been looking for the last few years, and I finally decided, you know what, if I was going to create one, who would the faculty be? Who are the people that I know, or who's on my dream list? Because, by the way, I'd say at least half of these people I did not know before. These are people who agreed to be part of the summit on behalf of the American Institute of Stress and the International Stress Management Association. They want to be part of this movement to talk about science-based solutions that work. We know our experience with stress is based on our perception and our resources. And those are the things we really want to look at taking some control over. We can't control the circumstances in our life, but we can control our mindset. Believe it or not, we can shape the way that we see the world through very practical, simple exercises every day. And we can fuel our own energy tank. We can become more resourceful by taking care of things like how we eat, what we eat, how often we move, our exercise, our sleep, those really common sense things that unfortunately for most people are not common practice. We're going to give you a way to pull all of that together. We're going to give you a workbook. We're going to give you transcripts of the session, value add items. I mean, this is going to be an experience like none other. And again, it's totally free. So with all that said, as you can tell, I'm really excited. And I wanted to share that with you ahead of time. So please register now, join our Thunderclap campaign, and send me any notes. Post here if you have questions, comments, want to get involved. We're also going to have some charity partners as well as university alliances and corporate affiliates. So if you want to get involved in any of those ways to help us spread the word, would love to have you on our team. So thanks again, everybody, for all of your support and throughout the last 10 years of this journey getting me to this point. I thank you for your support. So lots of love to you all, and I hope to see you at the summit. Bye.